All right, so I know you've all seen the Feed the Children commercials. If you haven't, they're commercials that come on usually late at night, and they're persuading you to donate money so they can give to kids, to starving kids in Africa. I know they're meant to do good, but they piss me off. Mainly because it makes it seem like that's all Africa's about. And it seems like a lot of the images you see on TV and in the media about Africa are negative pictures. And that's not the Africa I grew up around. Africa is a beautiful place filled with rich culture and lots of things to do, which is why I think you should visit Africa sometime in your life. Now, first I'm going to clear some misconceptions about Africa, and then I'm going to give you some great reasons why you should visit. Now, first of all, there are no wild animals roaming around freely in Africa. Our streets are not trash-ridden, and there aren't orphan children everywhere in Africa. I remember when I first came here, people used to ask me, you know, are there lions and tigers everywhere? Are there monkeys? And I used to think they were kidding. And it was a really sad day for my 8-year-old self when it dawned on me that they were being dead serious. So I proceeded to tell them that yes, that was true. They were everywhere, and I lived in a tree, and the president had the biggest tree, and he had a swing. And they believed me, like ignorant fools. I hope you guys never ever believe that story if somebody tells you. Just saying. The animals aren't roaming around freely. They're kept in reservations for their own safety. And I never saw a lion or a tiger or a bear until I came to Minnesota and I visited a state zoo. I've never in my life had I ever seen any of those animals face to face until I came to Minnesota, came to America, and I went to a state zoo and I saw them. And our streets may not be paving like America's, but we do have a lot of improvements lately. That's gonna go. Or not. I'm clicking send to projector.
Picture mute?
No.
Computer, send a projector, and then click picture mute.
There we go. So that's a mall in Accra, Ghana. That's a mall that was recently built in 2009, and as you can see, it looks like many of the malls here in the U.S., except for all the people are black, and same cars, same everything. So it looks just like here. So it's not like our cities are, you know, we're still living huts and everything's in streets. Everything is moving up progressively, slowly but progressively, and that's the metropolitan area in Johannesburg, South Africa. So they have a high-rise city just like here in the U.S. So it's not like things are that much different. It's not like you would go there and have to completely change your way of life. You would still see a lot of these same things. Now, another big reason why you should visit Africa is because of the weather. All I can remember from Cameroon was constant sun all the time. And if it ever did get cold, the coldest it got was hailing rain, huge chunks of ice. That was the coldest it ever gotten. Even during the rainy season, it's still pretty hot and humid. And the great part about Africa's weather is that their seasons are opposite from ours. Like in Cameroon, the rainy season is from May to October, and the summer season is from January to April. So right now would be a great time to visit Africa. Or like in South Africa, their summer is from November to March, and their winter is from April to October also. And the coldest it ever gets, it does get pretty cold in South Africa, and it rarely ever snows there. So what are some of the things you can do in Africa? There's an abundance of things to do. You can hike the mountains of Drakensberg in South Africa. You can visit the street markets in Nigeria or in any country that you go to. All African countries have street markets, and they're filled with lots of fresh fruits and lots of traditional clothing, so you can get lots of souvenirs for your families, and they're really cheap. $1 here is, I'm pretty sure it's 500 francs, and I'm pretty sure it's like $5,000 here is like $1 million in Cameroon, in francs. $5,000 here is $1 million there. So it's very cheap to buy a lot of stuff. So you can see a lot of stuff that you can get for your family and get it and bring it back to the U.S. And another great place to visit is the Great Limpopo Trans-Frontier, which is the largest wildlife reserve in Africa. So if you do want to see those wild animals that won't be roaming around freely, you can go visit that. It's a combination of 3 other wildlife reserves that it was combined in 2000. So there was one in Zimbabwe, one in Mozambique, and one in South Africa. And South Africa's was the best. South Africa did theirs to protect from the war that was going on in Mozambique, but a lot of the animals on the side of Mozambique suffered. So in 2000, they joined all 3 of them, and it's really huge. And according to the GreatLimpopoTransFrontier.com, there are lions, hyenas, elephants, hippos, birds, and much more. And here are some of the pictures I found. So you would get in a car and a tour guide would show you around pretty much all the borders of the country. You pretty much be going through each country and seeing whatever animals you could see. That's it. And at night, you can check out whatever city you're in's nightlife. Africans have a running joke that we don't know how to stop a party, because we really don't. Most of our parties in Minnesota get shut down by the police telling us it's time to go home. I've been to parties that start at 12 a.m. and didn't end at 6 a.m. So if you're looking for a party, if you're looking for a good time at night to experience the culture and the people, no matter what African city you're in, you'll be able to find a bar or a nightclub or whatever party going on that you'll have a great time at. And my parents tell me that there's a place called Off License. I wasn't old enough to even experience this when I left, but they tell me that's a place called Off License where pretty much you can party and drink and do whatever you want for the whole day, for however long you wish. So after hearing all of these great things about Africa, I hope you're more persuaded to visit sometime in your life. It's a beautiful place with great things to do and lots of things to see. Africa isn't like the US, but I think that's what traveling is about, that you go to other places and experience their different ways of life.